What's up, home skillets? What's This Food continues this week. We're talking about one of the most desirable proteins of them all, lobster. Today's sponsor is Titulia. In fact, they've sponsored a whole bunch of episodes of WTF, and we're doing episodes focusing on cooking with tea. Now, Titulia is the first tea producing company to have a 100% certified organic farm in Bangladesh where they make all of their tea. And they have a really large array of teas. They have everything from sort of herbal infusions like mint, ginger, to white teas and black teas. And most of them are loose teas. Some of them come in these little bags. Most of them are loose. You put them in balls, or you can use them to do other sort of cooking applications with, like infusing butter like we're going to do today. Check them out online at titulia.com. If you use the code danieldelaney, you will get 10% off your order, which is a pretty good deal. So get over to their website now, get your hands on some of their teas, and start cooking with it today. All right, so today we are talking about the lobster, which is considered seafood and is in this family called crustaceans. Also in the family of crustaceans are things like crabs as well as shrimp. However, of all of them, the lobster is considered to be the most profitable per pound. But that was not always the case. Historically, lobsters were considered to be like the rats of the sea, and they were fed to convicts and prisoners and servants all throughout New England and in parts of Canada. Even some servants had these clauses in their contracts which said, "I will only eat lobster 2 or 3 times a week, max." I'd love to have that clause in my life. Now, lobsters are invertebrates, which means that their shells are their bone systems and they are on the exterior. Remove the actual shell and you're netted with a bunch of really delicious, juicy, sweet meat and some organs and some innards. Of those innards, there's this one green innard which kind of looks a little bit slimy, and it's this sort of pancreatic slime called tamale, which is it's a delicacy. People love it. They eat it by itself or spread it on crackers or cook with it or make stocks with it. When lobster is alive, it is deep brown, and as you cook it, it becomes bright red. The pigment changes. The flavor of lobster meat is extremely mild. It should be eaten fresh, of course, and it is best paired with butter. When you buy a lobster, most of the time you're going to get them alive. If you go to a fishmonger that can steam the lobster for you, you can get them steamed for about 2 or 3 minutes to just kill them, and then you cook them the rest of the way when you get home. In today's recipe, you could do that and then just finish cooking it at home. Or if you have to take a live lobster and kill it yourself, you put the live lobster into boiling water and that will, kill it. You can also, I think it's a little brutal, you can also take a knife and go straight in through the main brain cavity, and that kills it. I prefer the boiling method, but some people think that the boiling method is less humane. Now, all throughout New England, especially when you go to Maine, you see these little shacks on the side of the road that sell these things called lobster rolls. They usually sell lobster too. Now, a lobster roll is basically delicious, juicy, plump lobster meat that's coated in some sort of sauce. In Maine, it is usually mayonnaise. Throughout lower New England, they use butter more frequently. And it's pretty simple. They use these split top rolls, cut them in half, fill them up with lobster meat, and charge you an arm and a leg for them. Today we are going to make our own version of the lobster rolls. Maybe it's, gussied up a little bit more, and it's actually kind of, I think, a little innovative. We're going to infuse butter with Titulia tea. We're using their white tea, and then we're going to poach the lobster meat inside of the infused butter. First, cut 3 sticks of butter into chunks and melt them bit by bit over medium heat. When the butter is all melted, add about 1/2 cup of loose white tea. Steep for 5 minutes over your lowest heat setting, then turn off the heat and let it sit for about 5 more minutes. Pour the butter through a strainer, reserve the butter, and discard the tea. Fill a large stock pot with water, and when it comes to a boil, you're going to add your live lobsters for about 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you're going to take them out, break off the tails, and use a scissor to cut away at the shell and delicately remove all of the meat. Now, loosely chop up your lobster meat into small bite-sized bits and add it to your butter. Let it poach for another 7 to 10 minutes or until the lobster is cooked all the way through. Take your lobster out, Add a little bit of mayonnaise and some chives. Toss it up and add it to a roll. So that's how you make white tea infused butter poached lobster rolls. Decadent, delicious. Try this. You will not be disappointed. Tune in next week for another What's This Food? Check out our sponsor, teatulia.com. If you have something you want me to cover, you can post it in the comments below. And be sure you are a fan of us on Facebook. You can get there by going to danieldelaney.com/Facebook. We've been doing a bunch of prizes and giveaways and having a good old time. I'll see you there.